Hey, this is Chris Goff, and I want to thank you for coming to this video. We're going to talk about the 5 key real estate methods to making money regardless of what you do in real estate. You know, everything kind of comes back to these 5 specific strategies, and I hear so often people getting into a new foreclosure program, they're getting into a new tax lien program, but I'm here to tell you, you've got to understand these 5 key methods before you can do anything in real estate. And I want to prove it to you. Let me ask you guys a question. If you bought a property, and assuming that, you know, regardless if it was a bank-owned property or it doesn't really matter, but my question to you is, if you bought a property, what could you do with it? Well, one, we could sell it. So we could buy the house, we could rehab it, and then sell it to a new buyer. That's one option. What else could we do with it? We could rent it. So number 2, we could rent. What else could we do with this property? 3, we could do a lease option. What else could we do with this property? Well, we could seller finance this out, or owner finance. It's all the same thing. Now my question to you is, what else could we do with this property besides moving in it or burning it down? Any ideas? See, there aren't any. These 4 things right here are the only things you could do with the property. Selling is what we call retailing. Renting a property is just simply renting a property. We could lease option this property. We could seller or owner finance this property. So my question is if this is all we can do with the house, why are we so focused on getting into new foreclosures, we're getting into tax liens, we're trying to learn probates, when you have to understand this first? And if you don't understand this first, I don't see how you're making money in real estate. So it's very, very important that we first grasp the idea, the concept here, that you have to understand these 5 methods. Now you may be asking yourself, what are these 5 methods, right? Well, let's start from the top here. The very first method is what we call wholesaling or assignments. And I'm going to go in a little bit of detail on all these particular strategies as we move along here. The second strategy is what we call retailing, where we're going to go in, we're going to buy a house, we're going to fix it up, and then we're going to sell it to a new consumer. Method number 3 is what we call lease options. I'm going to abbreviate it here with just an L and an O, but a lease option, a lease purchase, a rent to own, it's all the same thing. The 4th way is what we talked about, owner finance or seller finance, and I'm going to abbreviate it with just an OF. Now the 5th method to making money in real estate is what we call an option. You'll hear me talk about options or straight options, it's all the same thing. This is a very, very awesome strategy for those of you that may not have much money, you may not have any credit. This is a great way for you to tap into the market, and I'm going to teach you exactly what that is here in just a little bit. So these are the foundation methods to making money in real estate. And regardless of which method or where you start, it doesn't matter, but we have to understand the concept of these particular 5 methods. That way you can go do a bank-owned property. You can buy a foreclosure, you can buy a short sale, and you can get all these different other ways of making money in real estate, but we got to get this first.